Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's pounds. Close gap, close call, close encounter, close up. Pounds of leaders of grams, get your dose up. Cut this up and post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the movie, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I got to elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in them trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly to your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch a close up. Close up, close up, a close up. Grams of it, tune in, catch a close up. Pounds of it, pounds of it. Yeah, grams of it, liters up. Pounds, get your dosed up. Dosed up, dosed up.
Yeah, here we are.
That's right.
Monday,
That's right.
8 o'clock.
That's right.
Ocho, if you're Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got me, Dose, a.k.a. Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter, a.k.a. Dose. However you want to flip that thing.
Right.
And I think that's Lab that just let a shot off on y'all real quick.
One time for the one time.
Yeah. So you got the usual suspects back in effect.
That's right.
For those of y'all that are new, I appreciate you tuning in. For my regulars, thank you for coming back. Here we go.
That's right. How was your weekend, my brother? Sorry, I'm on the mic.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? How was everything going?
You know, weekend was a planning weekend. I'm strategizing now. You know, I got a lot that's getting ready to come up. I want to have some things in order by summertime, so my mind getting right.
Okay. So you just organizing some
Organized.
things. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Broke out the pen and pad. You know, I'm in that. If you write it, you can manifest it type thing. You know what I'm saying? So that part got done this weekend. That's the kind of most important part.
Okay.
So you don't have to try to memorize it or you forget it, you know.
Right.
And you can go back, you know what I'm saying, and be consistent with it.
Right. That's the most important part, writing it down. For me, writing it down makes me remember it. I have a hard time remembering things. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied with all these words lately, but I'm having a hard time remembering things. So writing it down helps me remember it a little bit, helps me come back to it and say, oh, I need to do that right there. I didn't do that. I didn't check that off the list. So I get what you're saying. It does organize you in a lot of ways people don't realize. But, yeah, so other than that, what's on your mind today? What we going to talk about today?
Well, okay, man. You know how folks be like, life is a movie, man. Art imitate life and life imitate art. So, I did a little research over the weekend on some movies, man.
Okay.
We're going to talk about, like, influential movies.
Okay.
The movies that gross the most.
Okay.
You know, controversial movies. You know, and what movies mean to us. You know, maybe what we were doing at the time and the year these movies came out. So that's what it's about today, movies.
Okay.
And you know, in my perception, I think movies are like designed to provoke emotion. They make us feel proud sometimes, sad. You know, they make you laugh. They try to scare you, keep you in suspense. You know, them thrillers. That's my favorite genre right there, thrillers. I didn't pretty much research that because the point that I'm going to try to make is more like subliminal and realistic, like, you know, what we're going through. You know, some of these thrillers and things like that, those are just, you know, kind of just there for your entertainment purposes.
What's going on, Insane Wayne? The real Insane Wayne. What's going on, T-Roll? Appreciate y'all tuning in.
But like the elements to the movies, like the soundtracks, the costumes, the scripts, background, the environment, the actors, all that plays a part in telling you the story.
Okay.
All of that plays a part in like trying to trigger your emotions and get you involved in what you're looking at.
Okay, I got you.
I've been noticing, you know, even the length of time. Like some folks, you know, they I guess they feel their script is so flavorful, so creative. They might have a 3-hour movie. They may have a 2-hour and something movie, or you know, they got the standard hour and some change movies.
And how does this play into our? So are we gonna? I'm gonna let you go with the list. I'm not gonna get to that part yet. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna let you talk about the influential movies as far as grossing black, military.
Yeah, so it's
psychological drug, all that.
Yeah, it's like interesting. It's interesting facts. Like when you start digging up these movies, and either if you look at like the time period, I didn't get necessarily into who produced the movies because now you're gonna be talking about a whole lot of different things. But definitely like the theme of the particular movie. First of all, we just start out with that very first movie, Birth of the Nation in 1915. You already know how they set that off. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of racial undertones and stereotypes that I think personally they still kind of play off of in today's movies. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's subliminal or just live and direct in front of your face.
They said that was the first. That movie right there was the first epic. They called it. Grand. Zoom outs and zoom ins and a whole bunch of extras and all that stuff. They said that was one of those epic movies. But you are correct. It was a very racist movie. They still have it in the Library of Congress, I believe. They have it as one of the first epic movies in the Library of Congress. But it was a very racist movie. Racist from beginning to end. No value to black folks whatsoever.
Nope.
But I think that black folks should look at it. I think they should watch it. I think it should be a part of their learning.
It really just set the tone in the stereotype and how we're viewed. You know what I'm saying, by other cultures as far as on the big screen when they see it.
Right.
So it's like a story being told about a nation and we're represented, but we're not telling our story.
Right.
They're telling the story that they imposed upon us.
Right.
And to this day, like I say, man, it's been an ongoing, everlasting negative effect to me.
Do you think it's the movie that the movie was made and it's just the they start saying it out loud in that movie? It was a visual aid to what you already what they already were saying privately, not privately, but
in public,
right. What they were already saying about us as a race at that time. They just went ahead and said it out loud and let us know that that's how they were thinking about us.
Yeah, like let's get this on film
because there was a lot of protests during that movie.
It should have been, man. I mean, like, why would you want to see that? And how they let it air.
Right.
Like, I don't think in today's time that would fly. If it did, it could damage some people financially, or it would have to have disclaimers and things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too bogus.
It would be a very, very... I think it would make profit, though. Don't get me wrong. Don't let us fool ourselves into believing that people wouldn't go see it and believe it.
In
today's time.
They're still going to see The Color Purple twice. So
in today's time. But the thing that really helped that movie get over the hump is when President Woodrow Wilson saw it at the White House, and he said that the movie was like writing lightning with a pen or something like that, and that only thing he regretted that it was all true.
Yeah.
See how the president of the United States helped that along?
Well, see, I mean, their truth was an illusion, man.
Right.
That shit was something that they created. You're going to create and fabricate something to your liking. Once again, they controlled the narrative back then like how they control it now for their conscience.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, but I consider that's funny because that particular movie, Birth of a Nation, wasn't even considered a controversial movie. One of the most controversial movies when I looked up most controversial movies, which is going to make me get on now, like The Passion of Christ was a controversial movie. I think we all know why that would be.
Right.
But yeah, that's controversy, meaning it's obviously the story of Jesus. And the way that the light that he was depicted in as far as in the movie and what was happening to him.
Right.
But I mean, it's really nothing but just you can graphically see what you were reading.
Right.
So to me, to think it was that, I don't see how it could be so controversial if the Bible been out for I don't know how long and it's just put on film.
Right.
Maybe they just didn't like necessarily Mel Gibson or whatever. So
I don't know if that was the case or it was just I guess it was just a violent depiction that a lot of people don't close their eyes and when they read the Bible. The Bible is violent. It has violent depictions in it. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but that's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know why it would have been controversial. Some people cried about it when they saw it. Some people, saw the light and they thanked Jesus for his sacrifices when they saw the movie. To each his own, you know what I'm saying?
I guess it could be offensive if some people seeing their martyr and hero being actually treated like that. Like you don't want to see. You rather read the story. You know
But
what
it
I'm
grossed
saying?
a lot of money.
Clearly.
It grossed a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Okay, so another movie that they said was controversial. Maybe you have to tell me what was so controversial about this one. But Crash.
Crash.
Uh-huh.
Well, Crash was controversial because the police in that was kind of a racist police, and I think it was an issue where I forget his name, but at the end, I think the police, if I remember the movie correctly, I think at the end the police still killed him and he didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
it was one of them. It was just you really had to pay attention to that movie because it was jumping all over the place. But it was
Exactly.
but it was a
Leading
very
stories and-
good movie. It had a bunch of stories within the story.
Exactly.
So I think that's why that was controversial. It wasn't controversial to me when I saw it.
Yeah, because, I mean, actually, believe it or not, man, sad to say, we're used to this type of treatment.
Right.
Or we're used to even seeing it displayed on the television screen.
I think
In
when
the
when
movie.
did that movie come out? Did you know? Do you know?
Now that's the one I didn't write when it came out.
I think because I think when that movie came out, social media wasn't as prevalent as it is today, so people didn't think of police in the light that they portrayed in. There's something like thinking like have you ever seen the movie what is it? Where the police was taking all the drug money from the guy. I forget the name of that movie. I want to say Brooklyn, but I could be wrong. But I think it's Brooklyn.
Crooklyn?
No, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Oh, okay,
Brooklyn.
okay.
It was the police. They were making drug raids and stuff, and one of the police needed money for a new house for his pregnant wife.
Oh, okay.
He was.
I mean, they be doing that in damn near Dinner Thieves and all these type of movies nowadays. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Slick said that on Crash, the main character sexually assaulted the wife when they pulled them over.
Wow.
So that was one.
Okay,
yeah,
that I would say that would be considered controversial.
Right.
I'm just gonna say the name of this movie, and obviously the name gonna trigger. The name sound controversial in itself, but Cannibal Holocaust. So, I mean, mass killings and murders on any culture, I'm already gonna be empathetic to. I'm not going to be like, well, they did it to mine, they did it. Nah, I mean, all across the board is just wrong. So
Right,
I empathize for, Jews just like I empathize for myself.
It's just wrong. Period.
Wrong, period. As far as the mass murdering of
Right.
any culture.
Right. It's just wrong. It's just it's amazing how we do each other. But anyway.
Now, Clockwork Orange. That's controversial. I love it. I know why it's controversial. I saw that.
You watched it?
I try to put a lot of people onto that.
Did you read the book?
No, I didn't read the book, but I think I might go back and read the book. I mean, it's a movie from like the 70s.
If you thought the movie was good,
okay,
you're going to really think the book is good.
All right, so with this particular movie, I'm going to tell you why I like it so much, because the conspiracy theories that we have going on today, if you watch this movie and it's back in the 70s, it shows you what's been happening that you can apply to today. So it really ain't no conspiracy. Like, they have something like I like the research the MK Ultra. So they say MK Ultra was like CIA sponsored. They got your eyelids open, drop water or thing, drops all in it. They put drugs in you. They flash images of violence and murder and killing across the screen, or whatever it is they want to implant in your brain subliminally.
Right.
They keep your eyes open and they flash all these different images in it and they drug you up. Okay, so they actually had this in that movie. All of what I just said, they had that in the movie.
They do.
But the interesting thing is they got subs and subliminals. And okay, so the young man started out with a gang.
He did.
And he ended up, they basically tried to rape this couple. They raped this couple, got away. But the police ended up getting this one guy. They caught one of the guys. The other guys he did these crimes with got away. And instead of putting him in jail, they put him in like this program. And the program, I would say, was like an MK Ultra or whatever.
Right.
But when they got through brainwashing this guy, he ended up becoming a police officer. Then they set him right back out there in the same environment, and he went and arrested the people that he did that crime with.
Yes.
So I'm like, look at this shit here. So, yeah, man, all of this stuff kind of does, like, it brings me to the mind of like the Manchurian Candidate, things like that, where hey man, if you want to apply it to real life, they have people that do assassinations, and they
Right.
say, they kind of like sleeper cells.
Right. What about when it was a movie Angelina Jolie was in, and I don't know if you know, I forget the name of the movie, where she was basically a Russian agent that was raised in America.
Is it Salt?
Salt.
Aha. Well, see,
But there's a lot of movies like that. Did you ever
clearly.
see Hunters on I think it was Netflix or Prime? And they were basically going around hunting ex-Nazis that came over to America to live
Wow.
in the 70s. And they had a whole cell of ex-Nazis that was living in America in the 70s that was planning a coup to take over America and go back to living back like they were in Germany back in the 30s. You ever see that?
No, I have not, man. But see, that I like those kind of plots. That sounds like some spook who sat by the door kind of almost. Okay, so Natural Born Killers. They got that as a controversial. I guess if you just going, I guess at the time, to glamorize a couple going on a killing spree or something like that.
That's basically what it was.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of get that. You never really want to, I guess, glorify
that.
You know what I'm saying? Couples in love that want to go out there and just start killing people for no apparent reason. A movie called Crossing. I didn't see that one, but they got that as controversial.
Who?
Crossing.
I'm trying to remember the movie. I know the name.
I do too.
I don't know if I remember the movie or not, so I'm not going to speak on it because I don't remember seeing it, but I remember hearing the name.
So here's one I can get on just because it sounds weird and I know what it means, and I definitely won't watch no movie like this, and I can see why I made a controversial list. Necromantic. So if you out there, and man, who first of all would even want to film somebody that's supposed to be having sex with dead bodies or whatever?
Oh, wow.
Hey man, that's the only thing I know what I'm saying what that means.
Is that I know what you're saying,
and
I'm thinking like you
romantic,
think like wow, like you think about the mindset of
exactly.
Of doing that.
Some angles and aspects of life really don't even need to be seen because that's how you start opening up
Pandora's box.
Yeah, and you get people be like, okay, well if you consider this art, then let me try something. Next thing you know, y'all in here doing some crazy shit and calling it a movie, man.
Yeah, Slick say it's drugs, sex, rape, and dirty cops.
Oh, okay. Controversial then. I guess that's normal damn near though nowadays. Okay, so you got the JFK movie. That was considered a controversial movie. Now, to me, why I don't think it should be controversial and why it's upsetting me that it should be controversial, because to me, if you got like a president that is of non-black president that want to fight for the blacks, that ain't controversial to me.
Right.
We're going to leave it at that. And we know what happened to him. Now, that's the controversial part, taking him out.
I think that's why it's controversial, because people were saying, well, for one, they were saying that he was taken out because he was trying to help black folks. But I think it was more controversial because some of the stuff they was trying to say in there, they didn't think it was true or not, but they were saying that it was true. So I don't know.
Man. Okay,
it's
so
one of those. It's one of them fact-based fictions.
So my thing is, you could pick any Dr. King movie and put it on the list if that's the case.
Right.
They didn't even put the Lincoln movie on there. That could be considered
That could be controversial.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but
that should be. I think that should be right up under the JFK. To be honest with you, have you seen the Lincoln movie?
Man, see, don't
Have
get
you
me
seen
started, because I'm gonna say I saw the Abraham Lincoln the Vampire Slayer one over the Lincoln movie. But I mean,
saw
I've
that
seen,
one too.
Okay. Hey, but you know me, like I haven't seen the Lincoln movie, but I do be looking at them documentaries.
The Lincoln movie is long. I think it's like 3 hours.
Does it have Frederick Douglass in it? It should.
It does.
Okay.
I don't remember how long he was in there. That's how short it was.
Wow.
But that he was in there.
Had him a little cameo.
Yeah, but I did see it. Some aspects of it I know wasn't true, but they portrayed it as so. So we're gonna leave that alone. But I think it should be on there as controversial too.
So they got, it should be another movie that just the name of this, the two names together, I can see why it's controversial. Child Bride. So
yeah, the two names together.
Yeah, I didn't even really want to look up to see what that movie was about, man. I mean, because sometimes I go face value. So, because if you do it like that, you don't even have to expose yourself to something. It could have been about something totally different. But if you're going to call it Child's Bride, that did, you know, I'm not really
interested in seeing that.
Thank you. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right. I got children.
That like, okay, that's like child porn to a degree. I'm not interested in that. So you know, all right, we got snuff. I'm assuming that's with tobacco and shit. Like
No.
No, it's not.
No.
See, now you got to tell me.
No.
Right. Oh, what's controversy about snuff? See,
Snuff.
here we go. That's why we have these conversations and discussions, because
it has nothing to do with dipping tobacco.
If it's okay, see, if it's something you ain't seen,
when people talk about snuffing you out.
Oh, okay. Bet. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Is that
I
on
get
the controversial
that now.
list?
Yes, it is.
Okay, there you have it.
Okay, so here's another one, and I can definitely see why this is, because this kind of is like exploitation to me. But freaks, and they called it freaks back then, which you don't call them now anyway.
Right,
but
right.
that would be considered to be like people who were born with like clawed hands or
disabilities.
Or like the women if they born with a full beard, or the guy that they call dog man, those type of things.
That is definitely controversial.
Exactly, yeah. People that actually P.T. Barnum would exploit. Make money off of. It was
Ripley's
considered to be the
Believe It or
circus
Not.
before they got animals and stuff involved.
Right.
So yeah, I can see why that's controversial. And this one, they're talking about, I guess, the first one, because they did a remake of this movie.
Okay.
But The Last House on the Left. That was considered to be controversial. But think about it now. During the time, if it came out, like, say, in the 60s or the 70s, them slasher-type movies where, okay,
so
what if you lived on the
It
last
was a
house?
second one that came out, like, in 99 or 2000.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a
But
more
this
recent
first one, the first one came out in the 70s, right?
Yeah, the most recent one is kind of gruesome-ish, too. You want to look at it like that, but, you know, yeah.
If we're gonna have Last House on the Left on the controversial list, why isn't Damien Omen on there?
See now,
why isn't
those movies? I didn't get to those because those are the ones, man. All right, now if you want to get into the exorcism and all that,
why is that's not on there?
See, Exorcism was one of kind of almost my favorite movies because it dealt with an aspect of life that, hey man, I look at it like it go hand in hand with religion.
Yeah, I think it could be considered controversial too, don't you?
It was just groundbreaking at the time. Poltergeist would be considered controversial to me, maybe.
Yeah, right.
If you believing in ghosts and all this other stuff, but,
right?
You know, I didn't get into those, man.
Okay, all right. It's so many movies to research.
Exactly.
You couldn't do all of them
because when you start getting into that, now you know if you start tapping into either like. Cause I'll go down the rabbit hole on you. That's why.
Right. Yeah, we don't.
So now,
stay from down the rabbit hole, Alice.
But I took your advice.
Okay.
And I got 8 movies that the Pentagon produced.
Okay.
And you're gonna find a reoccurring theme in them.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1995, they produced Apollo 13.
Okay.
We all know what that's about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They did Air Force One in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is one that I found interesting, and it's Batman and Robin in 1997.
Okay.
Now those don't have war undertones or government undertone to it. The Batman and Robins,
right,
or any space, but they did do Armageddon in '98.
Okay.
So I'm like, where y'all going with this?
Right.
Behind Enemy Lines in 2001.
Okay.
Black Hawk Down.
Okay.
Battleship.
Okay.
And Captain Phillips.
Okay. Those all Pentagon produced movies.
All strategic. All got weapons and stuff involved in them. You know, I could say Black Hawk Down was pretty good. You know, as far as I'm going with aesthetic and the film, the cinematography of it.
I'm gonna throw 5 more in there.
Throw it in there for me then.
You said Air Force One, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm gonna throw Deep Impact.
See, okay, now Deep Impact, that's like a extinction level event type movie. Here we go again with the Armageddons, but go ahead.
Deep Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some that I didn't think about. GoldenEye. James Bond.
Okay, a spy movie, I can get with that.
Iron Man.
Okay, Tony Stark's, you know what I'm saying?
Military stuff, you know.
With the government,
Apollo 13.
I got that one.
You got that one, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go. Captain Phillips, you got that one. Red Dawn.
Okay. That ain't with Schwarzenegger, is it?
No, that's with Patrick Swayze.
Swayze,
that was
okay.
supposed to be a movie where the Soviet Union had invaded America. The young kids were trying to help save America, but it was back in 2000. It was back in 1984.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one more. Top Gun.
Oh, okay. No wonder it made so much
1986.
money, and they like
Right.
that so much.
1986. That was a movie produced by Department of Justice.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to the movies, I'm about to skip like for us to the 60s and 70s before I start going back into like highest grossing films and before I start going to like most influential black films, most popular black films. All right, because the 60s and the 70s for us, which a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, if you're my age, or if you're in that new generation, you might not be hip or up or on the type of movies that, you know what I'm saying, our OGs would be watching. But they would be on like Coffee, Uptown, Saturday Night, with the movies that be having like Bill Cosby in them and stuff, you know, Cleopatra Jones, Superfly, Shaft, The Mac, Foxy Brown, Dolomite, Truck Turner, and Black Caesar. Those had like who we consider like I would say like our elder celebrities. Like you had Bill Cosby and some of them, Sidney Poitier and some of them.
Melvin Van Peebles and the sweet back badass song.
Yes, they had that up there, as a matter of fact. And Melvin Van Peebles, who actually has a son Mario,
Right.
they good with I say producing.
Right.
They've been behind the scenes for a while.
You know, that movie right there was actually the one I just said was actually one of the first movies to get an X rating.
Wow. I think Van Peebles had something to do with the Rosewood movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. That sweet back badass song got an X rated, and he actually, I have a shirt that he had made back then in '72 that says rated X by all white jury.
But see, now the reason why I'm shouting out these movies, because watch where I take this to now.
Okay.
What made these movies popular, right, and what made these movies affect Hollywood were the soundtracks.
Oh, there we go.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
You
those
had them
were
Curtis Mayfield soundtracks, them Willie Hutchins and all of them. You see them Isaac Hayes and all of them.
You know the black. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
the
you good.
black exploitation movies were the first ones to do the soundtracks, and
Exactly.
they were making money off the soundtracks. And then
Good old Hollywood.
right,
Want to jump in,
Right.
which is why to this day, man, we rack up in the Oscars when it comes to soundtracks, but we don't be racking up in the Oscars when it comes to the acting.
Actors, right.
We don't rack up in the Oscars when it comes to like the casting or like the production part of it, even the fashion part of it. Like I'm like, come on now, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But you know that those were those soundtracks were because you know a lot of these movies weren't put in the mainstream theaters. So the other way they make money was off the soundtracks. So the soundtracks was the way to make money to keep producing other films within that genre. And then when Hollywood saw, well, dang, they making millions of dollars off these soundtracks, then they wanted to start making soundtracks to their movies. You get what I'm saying?
Now we can compare after these 60s movies that I just rattled off. We're gonna flip between them a little bit later when I get to the movies that are like most popular to us that we like. But before we do that, I want us to take a look at like how society views movies as well, meaning like as far as the highest grossing movies of all time.
Okay.
And they pretty much did it on a list of like 50 of them, man. But they actually got the one that's grossing like the most is Avatar.
Of course.
Then that Avengers Endgame is coming in. But when they do that Avatar, that's like 2.9
billion.
Yeah, you getting up there.
Okay.
All right, Avengers, the Endgame one, that's at 2.7.
Okay.
All right, then Avatar right again at the third one. They at 2.3 again.
And these are
so this man
2.3
done
with a
made
B.
2.9 in 2009. Then he came back around in 2022 and made 2.3.
And that's why he's worth 4.
Hey, the Titanic brought in something, and that
Right.
was in that's 97.
Yeah, that
So-
was that 1.1.
No, that's actually 2.2 bill.
2.2 bill. Okay.
Okay, then you got Star Wars, The Force Awakens. That was in 2015. That made a good 2 bill.
Okay.
Okay, here we go again. We got Avengers, the Infinity War. So that's twice Avengers done been on there. That was 2 bill in 2018.
Okay.
All right, so now look at where we going with these movies, though, right?
Right.
All right, you got Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's 1.9. All right, you got Jurassic World 1.6, The Lion King 1.6, The Avengers. Like all these things, like what? None of these are like, you know what I'm saying? Any realistic. It's like you got comics damn near.
Right.
Okay, then you get to the Furious 7. That made 1.5 billion in 2015. They threw your Top Gun, but it's the Maverick one,
Okay.
the 2022 one.
Oh, not the first one.
Not the first one.
Okay,
Not the first
okay.
one yet, though. All right, we got Frozen 2. That came in at about like 15 in 2019. That made 1.4 bill.
Okay.
Surprisingly, Barbie. They shot that up there real quick with 1.4 bill, and that came out in 2023.
That came out last year, didn't it?
Uh-huh. Now you got the Avengers, the age of, what is this? Union? That's 2015, 1.4.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers,
Okay.
1.3. Black Panther, Harry Potter. All right, then you got Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Okay.
So I'm seeing as a whole, we into either some science fiction or some superheroes.
We like fantasy and sci-fi.
I
It
see
seems
this.
that.
Okay, so at clocking in at number 19, you got Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Then Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom came in at 1.3 bill. Frozen, number 21. Beauty and the Beast, that's at number 22. Then you got The Incredibles 2. Man, this list right here, damn, I mean, I guess we have seen all of them, huh?
Right.
Fate of the Furious.
Right.
You got Iron Man 3.
Right.
Number 26 is The Minions. All right, 27, Captain America. And I kind of really want to go down this list because it's getting redundant to me. And I'm like, okay, so this is what we find really entertaining. And I don't see any of it that you can learn from. But all right, we got the Captain America Civil War at 27. Then you got Aquaman. Aquaman kind of sucked, if you ask me. I don't even know how that made 1.1 billion.
But you know what the thing is? You going by a thing said, you know what it is? A lot of times people go to the movies or want to see a movie that takes them out of reality because they want to get away from their problem. That's what we got. That's what we got going on that list right there.
I mean, yeah, because now you got the Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Transformers, Skyfall.
Okay.
One with some damn humans damn near that ain't necessarily about superheroes and comic book characters. But then you go with the Transformers, Age of Extinction, Dark Knight Rises, Joker, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. That's number 37.
Okay.
Toy Story 4 is number 38. Toy Story 3, damn, back to back, number 39. And that's 9 years apart because Toy Story 4 is 2019, Toy Story 3 2010. Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, that was in 2006. That's number 40. That grossed the bill. Rogue
So
One.
we still in B's. We still in the B's.
Oh yeah, they all billions now.
Okay.
If you top 50, you made $1 billion.
Okay.
So the Rogue One, Star Wars, then the Aladdin, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jurassic Park, Despicable Me, Finding Dory, Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. Then you got Alice in Wonderland, Zootopia, and The Hobbit. Those are all grossing billions and up.
Just $1 billion, not no 900 million.
Yeah,
$1 billion and up.
And that would be considered to be the 50 most gross movies.
So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
The theme of that movie seems to be kids, fantasy, and sci-fi.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Those are the grossing movies right there. The top grossing movies as far as revenue. Kids, fantasy, sci-fi. Superhero type stuff, which I mean fantasy. So what does that say about us? Does that mean that our reality is so messed up or so fucked up that we got to go to the movies to get away from it?
I would say that.
What do you think?
A lot of us got kids and we taking them to the movies. I know why. Okay, think about it. Did they make these movies for the adults?
Or did some of them are R-rated.
No. What I'm saying is these Superman movies that they making now, right? Did they make them for the original kids that grew up with that? Like Batman from the '60s ain't hitting on like nothing what Batman does now. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think they got the nostalgia going for because if my dad, let's say, was a child or in his teens or something when first DC Comics started coming out,
right?
They were gypped of graphics, I would say. Maybe that's some of it.
They got graphics. Well, as a comic book reader from early in the 80s, 78, 79, when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, we got the graphics within the comic books. They wasn't as visual as a movie would be. But I can say that you are dead on when you say that they are pandering to the kids that were younger with these comic book movies, because I don't think a lot of kids today read comic books.
Well, you're right, and the origin of the comics didn't start with them.
Right. I mean, you think about Avengers. Like when I watch an Avengers movie, and I be watching it, and I be like, Iron Man didn't do that, because I remember from the comic book.
You know the history of it. You know their origins.
I'd be like, Wolverine didn't come from. You know what I'm saying? I know the book because I read the comic books, but you know the movie always differs a little bit from the book because they got to do certain things to make it interesting. But when you read the book and you know the comics, because I read them all. My uncles were in the comic books. They were older than me, so you think about them Avengers and stuff like that we read, and X-Men and stuff like that, and you know the origin of where X-Men started, how this started, how Black Panther started, all that, and you start saying, and when you look at the movie, some of it's correct, but then you start saying, that ain't right. That's not how that happened. You know what I'm saying? So they do direct it towards us who read comic books when we were younger, but I think they add extra stuff in there to try to grab the younger crowd as well.
I think they hit some too, because think about it, like, because I'm getting ready to get into like the best drug movies of all times, but when you start getting into movies like that, or movies that are always about real life, or supposed to be true stories, because I got some true story movies too, I'm not going to necessarily say it could be boring,
right?
But where's the creativity a lot in a story that might be true for you but not for me,
right?
And if we all don't relate to it, like, okay, so clearly no one's maybe going to be able to relate to Wolverine, which means now we all can look at something and be like, wow,
right?
You know, I like that. You know what I'm saying? It's something, we ain't seen something like that before. But but like I said, my favorite genres are like documentaries and conspiracy theory type movies, or thrillers, suspenses, things that make you think. Just to throw an example out there, would be like Knives Out, something like that.
Okay.
That type of movie.
Okay.
Them kind. Them old school movies. Like, I guess, what is that? To Kill a Spider or something like that.
Right.
Right. With Morgan Freeman, them kind.
Okay. The older type movies. Like, I like documentaries. Number one, especially documentaries about like art and just us as a people in general. No offense to anyone else, but that's what I like.
Yeah, exactly.
I like those kind of documentaries that make me think a lot, that inspire me, gives me inspiration, gives me energy to create, because I am a creative. So those type of things. Now I like comic book movies. I like Avengers and fantasy movies too. I liked it, Harry Potter, but I love Lord of the Rings more. Because Harry Potter to me was more kiddie than Lord of the Rings were.
Gotcha.
I saw all Star Wars, the first three. Star Wars, the next one, the Return of the Jedi. I saw all those when they first came out at the movies. That's how old I am.
Star Wars gets all the generations, because they've been playing that one since the 70s.
Right.
First one came out, I think, like 77 or something like that.
73.
Damn, 73. See, and then you got Star Trek too. So
right.
you're gonna get some sci-fi from all generations. Right. I totally understand.
I'm a Star Wars fan, but Slick, she a Star Trek fan.
Wow.
She likes Star Trek. So, everybody has their thing that they like, but I'm going to let you go ahead and finish that. I just want to throw out the kind of stuff I like.
I got no problem, man. That's good. I mean, that's what we're here for. So, in these drug movies, they got Requiem for a Dream that came out in 2000 as one of the best drug movies.
And we mean best drug movies based on
plot,
we don't mean
acting.
Right. We're not talking about
premises of the whole movie.
Right.
Like, this ain't what y'all would choose, because of course we would probably throw New Jack City in that thing, Paid in Full or something like that, which we gonna get to that, because them the movies that we like. But I'm just getting a poll of, like, this would be like a census of what society was thinking about, or something that probably like was a box office smash.
Okay,
and
there
it
we
was
go.
centered around like drugs. Okay?
Right.
So you got Pulp Fiction.
Of course.
They tended to like that. Of course, you saw a couple of drug scenes in that and what was going on, especially with the overdosing and all of that.
Right.
They got Boogie Nights that came out in 1997 is one of them.
Right.
The Wolf of Wall Street happened to make it.
I don't know how.
I don't know either, but it just so happened to make it.
Okay.
Easy Rider, that's before me.
Motorcycle, 73.
Okay. All right. Train Spotting.
Have you ever saw Train Spotting?
No, and that's what I need you to talk about because I ain't seen it, but I just might.
Train Spotting was one of those movies you paid attention to, but these guys were on. They were on H.
Okay, I know what that is.
And
okay,
they went so deep down into the drug things of doing it. They had a scene where the guy was so deep in the drugs, like so deep in it, that he climbed out of the toilet.
Oh, wow.
Literally climbed out of the toilet because that's how low he was. He was so low that he was basically, that was a metaphor, basically. But the scene was that he was climbing out of the toilet.
Wow.
And they tried their best to get clean and stay clean, but they couldn't do it. And it was a wild ride. The things that they did to get money, to get drugs was wild.
So my quick question, because once again we learn on this show too, and if we scroll back to drug use versus drug abuse, that episode when you said they tried to get off of it, one question I want to ask: did they go seek professional help? Or
No.
That's why.
No.
That's a physically dependent drug, which is why they couldn't beat it.
No, they didn't try to. They tried to do it on their own.
Did it
You get what
work?
I'm saying? See, they had the denial that they were even addicted.
Oh wow.
You get what I'm saying? At first, and then when you got to the scene where he would climb out of the toilet and just, then it was different. But they tried, but they didn't go to a doctor or anything. They was like, I'm done with this.
How did it end? Did they get off it?
No.
Okay, folks. So once again, I stand corrected.
Right.
A physically dependent drug.
Right.
Go watch Train Spotting. You will not get off that thing without checking into rehab.
And watch it to it in the depth of seeing what they did to get it. Wow. That is the major part. I mean, these people were they didn't even take baths. They woke up in the morning thinking about how to get that.
Then they got Magnolia, 21 grams. I saw that. Eastern Promises, 25th Hour, Pain and Glory, Scarface. I think we all know about that Scarface. Say hello to my little friend.
Right.
Girls like ice cream. That's the one I like.
Okay.
First you get the money, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
and the
right.
girls will come. Hey, you gotta learn all that from that.
Right.
But okay, we got City of God. That's
Okay.
a pretty good one too. Moonlight.
City of God was zero, right?
Yeah, it was like
I saw that
overseas.
movie several times. But the only thing I don't like about it, it's hard to follow because it's in Portuguese.
Well, subscript that thing out,
Right, yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And go for it.
The whole movie's in Portuguese.
Wow. And Moonlight. I hadn't seen Moonlight. It came out in 2016, but it keeps coming across when I'm looking at these movies. And it came across in like influential black movies, and it came across in this. All right, I ain't never heard of Beautiful Boy, but that came out in 2018. I wonder if they mean in boy as a reference. See what I'm saying? Now they talking about that boy.
I didn't learn about that.
Not
that terminology until
I know now.
Slick
We
told
get
me
to the
about it, but now that you said
See,
it,
hey,
we
man,
gonna keep
hey,
pushing.
it could be that entendre they got going on, man. Traffic. Okay, that name right there, the name in itself ought to let you know what it's about.
right?
Traffic. Got something to do with a car, I can tell you that, and something to do with a charge.
Okay,
All right, American Gangster. We already know.
right.
But The People versus Larry Flint seem to have made this list.
I don't know how.
Hey, man, that was a 1996 movie, too.
Okay,
Dope from 2015 made the list. Blow, self-explanatory. That's another one of them words, Oh, and The Basketball Diaries in 1995. Now, when we were talking about this off air, I said, you know what? I can see how something like The Basketball Diaries can make it because, boy, that ABA and that NBA in the 70s, man, they were saying, the line was long, and I ain't talking about to get in to watch them play. They were like some of the main things, and if you look at them, like, I really don't want to put nobody's name out there, but there are a bunch of names. The one name I will say, may he rest in peace, would be like Len Bias, though.
I think the Basketball Diaries is not the same what we think.
No, it ain't. But I was just saying how I could see how you could tie drugs into it though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was definitely prominent for them the 60s and the 70s basketball players.
Yeah, it was definitely
And the early 80s.
It was definitely about a basketball star.
Oh,
Definitely.
you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell
it was
you
about
though.
a teenager basketball.
Man, I can throw you a few of them out there. David Thompson wouldn't crash like that, man. Shit, Roy Tarpley and them, man, them
Right.
Dallas Mavericks, man. Okay, you can
Okay.
get to the football too if you want to, but hey,
Baseball too.
yes, all the sports you might as well say.
Right.
All right, now here's another one: Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now I saw this myself.
You liked it?
Man, it's tripping. Hey, man. Hey, Offset and may he rest in peace. Well, no, Quavo and may he rest in peace. Takeoff. They did a take on that Fearing and Loathing with their song.
Okay.
But yeah, they had Johnny Depp in it, man, and it was basically them going on a cross country trip, man, on all these hallucinogens, LSD, anything you could think of. Them fools were taking it.
Right.
And obviously they were delusional and out of their mind.
Right.
And if you want to see what you look like on a psychedelic trip and how you can't function, that would be a movie to watch.
All right.
The French Connection and Half Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they consider most influential. I could beg to differ on a couple of on a few of them that we don't watch,
Right.
But hey, that's what they got. So now I'm going to get to what they consider influential. Not necessarily what we consider influential.
Okay.
But if you when you
movie
start
academy.
Googling, and the reason why I wanted to take it because I know what we consider influential.
Right.
We be Facebooking it and you know what I'm saying, putting it on Instagram, and we talked about this all. It's been in magazines. We know what we like.
Right.
But to see how other people think, it's interesting because they got Do the Right Thing. I can go with that one.
I'd go with that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I really like that. That's very influential to me because that was around.
Do the right thing.
Exactly. Because it showed us, that's how I like to see it. It showed us when we were in college. It showed us when we were intellectual.
Right.
It showed us having kind of healthy and productive relationships.
Conversations.
Yes, and conversations. What it didn't do was it didn't have no us versus us, no male bashing in it, no woman bashing. Oh, but what it did do, it did touch on a few controversial things like the light skin versus the dark skin, brown skin a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Which honestly, that's truthful. We do go through that. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that we as a culture we should be discussing and talking about because we shouldn't be discriminating amongst ourselves with colorism anyway. So yeah, I like that one. Okay, here we go. Right off the rip, 12 Years a Slave. That ain't influential to me.
Right.
Being a slave for 12 years is not influential, folks, but they got it up there. Okay. Boys in the Hood, they got it as an influential one. Now, I know that's a popular one. That's one of my most popular ones and one of the ones that we like. But now, if you look at it, in Boys in the Hood, didn't they have police officers against us in that thing?
No.
They didn't?
I don't remember that part. I don't think so. Oh well, at the beginning of the movie they did. Yeah.
They're gonna throw that in there. Okay.
At the beginning of the movie, and I think it was a little bit. It wasn't as prevalent. It was more us against us.
Hating the black keys. And
Yeah,
all this,
yeah,
black-
yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, also, we shooting each other in that. but-
Right. I think that was more the message of that movie. Why are we doing this to each other? Right.
Then you got Set It Off. Bank robbing ain't really influential to me.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, they can't be doing the thinking for us because influential and popular.
Right. It's two different things.
Yeah, what we like. You see what I'm saying? I'm
don't
gonna
think-
go down the popular ones for us. But once again, like I said, this ain't what me and Lab sat back here and thought was most influential for us.
Right.
This is if you literally go on your Google and you be like, what's influential with us, what you see. All right, so that's interesting.
Exactly.
Once again, they got Moonlight. So I'm gonna have to check this Moonlight out.
Okay.
Cause that's on there. Black Panther. Now to me, that's not really going to be influential and motivational to me because it don't exist. And I don't like how they had one particular race try to kind of save us and bring it all together. I would say it's entertaining.
Okay.
And it grossed a lot. Did
It
it gross
did
a
gross
lot
a lot.
for us?
It did gross
Who
a lot.
knows? Because who produced it?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Now, Barbershop. Influential? I guess it could help.
I guess, well, you know, they try to say that's how we conversate with each other.
Well, okay, now
We used to go to the barbershop and
all
talk.
right, so I will say you can have good influential talks in a barbershop.
Okay. Grown folks talk, right?
That's where men can talk and discuss family life if you want. You can discuss sports. You can discuss politics. So in an influential way like that, I'll rock with that.
Okay.
Poetic justice. Influential. I think they just was, you know, it was Pac and Janet. Y'all were influenced by that? I guess that's the story behind it.
I don't know how that's
influential.
right.
I can see how it's entertaining because you took two icons and some pretty decent actors and put them together.
Right. I just don't know how it will influence us to do anything.
Thank you. Coming to America. That ain't influential. It's funny.
Entertainer. It's
and
funny.
entertaining. Yeah. It's popular. We
Right.
like that. That's on one of our most popular lists, the go-to movie.
Right.
Waiting to Exhale. Now, see, here we go. That's problematic and drama to me. Burning somebody's house and clothes ain't influential to me. A bad relationship ain't influential to me.
Right.
All right.
Having black women accept being beaten on and cheated on
ain't influential. I don't like the bad relationship movies, man. I like the good movies.
Slick
where
said,
we got each other's backs.
Slick said Full Metal Jacket and Apocalypse Now. Those are good movies. But we're going to go back to those.
Yeah, that sound almost like one that it made the Pentagon list.
That is.
See, Slick, you on us. I like that, Slick. See, good. Hey, Slick, you the one now to give us corrections if we need it. I appreciate that.
That's right.
I appreciate that. Okay, now, this made it. I don't know why. And they doubled down on it. The color purple. That ain't influential to me.
Yeah.
And 2 times?
Yeah. I mean, the first one was very entertaining. I didn't like the second one.
No.
I think it veered away from the main part of the first one too much for me. So the second one, The first one, entertaining. I liked it very much. The second one, not so much so. They
got Dream Girls, and I say if you want to take the route of being in entertainment and music, it can be influential to you.
Right.
If you
show you how, I guess it gives you the backstory, right?
Not only that though, but there was some singers in that one.
Right, it was some singers in that movie.
Real singing,
some real singing.
I like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's some auto-tune.
Yeah, not no auto-tune, not no harmonizing up under, whisper singing. No, them vocals got into that.
Right.
That influenced me a little bit.
Okay.
The Django Unchained. Once again, we got the same theme. Nothing really influenced me except the Get Back.
The Get Back at the end.
That's about it. I don't care about being tied up, having the shuck and jive till you got to the ending. I'm not a one that want to keep seeing all that. I'm just letting you know. But okay, definitely not this one. Till, as in Emmett Till. Ain't nothing. I got a moment of silence for that.
They got a documentary about that. I don't need to see the movie.
Yeah. I mean, thank you. Like, first of all, the story right there is heartbreaking.
I can read a book.
Yeah, I don't want to see no movie on that because it's real life, first of all, and the not even the book, just the research. The stories was enough for me.
Yeah,
I don't need to see
it's one of them movies.
Yeah, like
one of them documentaries and movies that make you angry, man.
The only way that would have been influential to me is if all of that money went straight to his generation and his family.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Other than that, I'm not influenced and I'm not even impressed. Right. Y'all didn't even have to make that movie.
Yeah.
Creed 2, entertaining. If you like boxing, influential. I mean, what if you want to beat somebody's ass? Maybe?
How many Rockets? Can
influential.
You make?
Okay, here's the spin to it. Yeah, it's influential to me because I'd rather you box than shoot a nigga.
Right. Okay.
Here we go. All right, The Descendant.
Okay. I ain't never even heard that.
It has something to do with slavery. I can tell you that. That's why I can care less about it.
Okay.
You're not going to influence me with slavery.
Right.
You might influence me with the revolt.
Right. The revolt.
Thank you.
Where's Nat Turner?
He's not on there. They're not gonna have that.
French
or Malcolm. They didn't get the influential movies. That's what should be on there. See, that's why I went ahead and did this list.
Right.
All right, because now we're looking. Okay, they got King Richard on there. All right, that's influential to me. You can take your daughters and make them icons as well as athletic
I like
icons.
King Richard. I think that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the story is we seeing that and play out in real life. Yeah. We see our beautiful black sisters coming in here and dominating tennis.
Right.
spanking that ball on their ass,
Right.
and getting all the
Right.
awards,
Right.
accolades.
I
You know what I'm
like
saying?
it. I
Winning
liked
in
it.
this and that, you know, that's influential to me. We can deal with that. Oh no. We're not gonna do the Black Klansman.
Oh,
I don't care
no,
that much
no,
about the Klan to try to infiltrate them, or even really sit and speak with them.
Uh-huh.
I don't really get that movie as far as, I mean,
And
if
it
you
was made
want to
by
be
Spike
them
Lee,
to
too.
blow up the establishment, baby.
It was made by Spike Lee too.
Clearly,
It
but you know,
Slick say Precious.
no. See, that's on another list I
Okay.
got.
Okay, we're gonna get to that list.
Yeah.
Slick
But
316, we're gonna get to that one.
But see, now that you said that, that beating up, the role that she played, aggressive, you know, I mean, you beating your child, damn near wanting to put him out and all that. I guess it's real life, you know. But Soul Food.
I liked Soul Food. I'm not because
It's heartwarming.
It's
you
a
know.
heartwarming, but it's influential as to seeing a family try to stick together with the strong black grandma who actually in real life, if you think about it, think about this for a minute, though. In real life, grandma did keep the family together.
Hey,
Grandma,
man,
think
all that,
about
and not only
grandma.
grandma, but the elders.
Right.
That's what's most important.
Back in the days and before now, but back then, grandma, you did go to grandma's house.
Yeah.
You did. Grandma made sure everybody was straight or stayed in line. So I like that movie because of that, because it actually reminds me of my grandmama and great grandmama.
It's influential to me because it bridges the gap and has multiple generations.
Right.
You got the elders, you got the next generation, then you got like the grandbabies and stuff that like you need to see that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be seeing, you got Big Mama, but the daddy ain't nowhere around.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
right.
And stuff like that. Love and Basketball was one of them. I'm all for a love story,
Right.
especially if it's gonna be positive.
Right.
I mean, we can use some influence like that.
Right.
Better than Strippers and the Players Club or something. Even though that movie was pretty decent, you know, that would be one of the popular ones that we like.
Right.
But you know, that's for entertainment purposes or learning maybe what not to do.
Okay.
Malcolm X made this one, and that he should have.
Right.
All right.
I liked Malcolm X.
Me too.
I don't
man.
think the
I read
story
the book,
was
the autobiography.
Right. The
You
autobiography, well, of course, was more in depth.
Yeah.
People should read the book
now,
too.
Now, see, I'm letting y'all know. I'm just gonna allude now. The black facts are going to be the black actresses and actors that got Oscars. So I'm just gonna throw this one out there. Denzel should have got an Oscar for that.
Yeah. Right.
Not for Training Day
Right.
or both.
Right.
But you know, he was super gangster in Training Day. But that Malcolm, that hit home, bruh.
Right.
That's where the Oscars should come into.
Right.
All right, then we got Selma. But you see where I'm going with these? Like, we don't always have to be influenced when we were oppressed.
Right. We
Damn.
need some good. We need some good influence.
Now come on, somebody got Amistad. So we influenced by jumping off the boat?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think it's more influenced by the revolt. The revolt.
It's influenced
part.
by the overall upcoming. But
Right.
good Lord, how many of them do we need on the list?
Right.
Come on now. Dear White People, we got that. And then the last one, The Help. Of all. I definitely ain't influenced in being no help. No. They
only
need
part
one
that
called The
influenced-
Entrepreneur or
The
some
only
shit
part
like that.
The only part that influenced you is when she gave her the pie.
Man, yeah. Yeah, but you know, they need to have a movie where, like, called We Were Here First.
Right.
Now, that's influential to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened when y'all got here?
Right.
Let's make a movie called that.
Right.
But, all right, so now I'm going to get into the ones that we kind of like that didn't get to, man. Like, I like Juice. Didn't nobody throw that in there, you know?
Right.
As far as popular.
That's movies that we like, right?
Movies we like. You know, we
Right.
like that Minister Society, Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
You know, Brown Sugar, you can throw that out fresh. Paid in Full, you know what I'm saying? Life, The Best Man, Dead Presidents, Rosewood. Like, why we can't get them? Why we got to get the Selmas and all that, you know? But, hey, now that I got that off my chest, I think,
Slick say that black black folks get Oscars when they're not portrayed in the best of lights.
Slick is absolutely right.
Right.
And we're gonna get to that because towards the tail end, when I start naming the movies in the time period, like the year,
Okay.
and the role that they played, you're gonna see.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what she was saying. But I did want to get to before I get to the movies that are like true story movies, because I got to that too, like some of those. I want to rattle off a bunch of movies that, and I'm gonna do the years by them. So I'm not even gonna necessarily just say any actors or what these movies are about. I'm just gonna name the names of them so y'all have an idea,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna name the years by them and stuff like that. But we'll start out with, like I say, like the birth of a nation.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 1915. But then you got movies like I say, the 12 Years a Slave came out 2013. Can't forget about Raising It in the Sun now, 1961. The Butler, 2013. They actually had a movie called Coonskin, 1975. Dear White People, 2014. Fruitvale Station, can't forget about that one, in 2013. How to Eat Your Watermelon in White Company.
Whoa.
Never heard of that one.
I never
That's
heard
in
that movie.
2005.
Whoa, I gotta look that movie up.
Imitation of Life in 1959. Look that one up while I'm going down this list.
Have you ever watched Imitation of Life?
No.
Very good movie.
Is it about racial culture?
It is.
See what I'm saying? Okay.
But,
In the-
it was a very good movie. Every time I watch it,
uh-huh.
it makes me cry.
It's 1959 now. So you see where I'm going with this.
Right.
Like, and y'all listen to the years because it's going to be current. All right, but then you got In the Heat of the Night. That was in, what, 1967, I believe. Then they got Let the Fire Burn. Didn't even hear of that one. That's 2014. Mississippi Masala. I know about that one. That's 1991. Then you got Selma in 2014. But Shadows, I think, what is this, 1959? Damn, Shadows. Okay, I said this one earlier. Spook Who Sat by the Door, 1973. Trouble the Water, that's 2008. Birth of a Nation, I think the 2016 one, that might be the one with the Nat Turner one. All right, then you got this one says Whose Streets,
Okay.
and this is 2017. I'm Not Your Negro. In 2016, we got a I'm Not Your Negro. Come on, man. All right, really though. Then they got the one that you said you saw. If Bill Street Could Talk in 2018.
I saw that.
13th in 2016. Crime and Punishment 2018. Clemency 2019. Always in Season 2019. Blind Spotting 2018. Can't forget Queen and Slim. Now you're getting that police brutality stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Queen and
2019.
That was a good movie though.
Get Out 2017.
That was a good movie.
Can't forget about Glory though. Remember that one?
Oh.
Denzel Washington,
Right.
2006. Now, what I'm finna get at when I name these last two, A Time to Kill, 1996 with Samuel L. Jackson. I remember that one. And When They See Us, right? Okay, now, you remember how, you got Cat Williams saying how damn near they had everybody dressing in dresses or whatever. He had to put on a dress, but
Right.
I want to know how many black actors played the subservient slave role, though, or the my massa role, or where you got beat. How many of them?
A lot.
Because you got Denzel on that list,
There's a lot of movies that made that. There's a lot of movies that were made that way.
where you had to be subjected to some kind of racism. That, to me, go hand in hand with that. Like,
I mean, think about, like
don't
they
need-
say, all roots.
Roots, clearly, even underground.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted. I left a few off because I need some engagement.
Back and forth,
And Slick the one engaging for us. But yeah, is there a particular reason why they keep doing these movies?
Let me ask you a question. When we talk about all these movies, I know people like, why they name it? Because we want to know, do you all think that there's propaganda and programming? And that's why we're naming these movies.
Exactly.
Are they programming us and giving us the movies made by the U.S., by the government? Is that propaganda? Do we consider that propaganda? And the movies that are made about slavery and beating and killing, is that program?
Now, check out how I started out on y'all with that Clockwork Orange movie, which definitely, now the movie actually had Now, if you got a movie, okay, you need to ask, well, what agency, what corporation, what business, what conglomerate, first of all, in that particular movie was doing that to that man?
Right.
And how'd you think of that script? And who just goes around thinking of, oh man, if we get these particular type of I don't even know what they were called, but you put them on your eye, your pupils, and they keep your eyes open, right? Then we gonna drop fluid in your eye. Then we gonna get you in drugs. Yeah. Then we gonna keep flashing movies in front of you. Like, who thinks of these things, right? Okay, but not only that, we might not get all of that,
right,
but we do get the continuous movies,
right,
the same movies,
all
the
right,
regurgitated plots over and over
different
and
names
over.
and different actors in it.
Yeah, and
right,
then we get the subliminal stuff put in the background, put in the fashion of it, or put in the it might be a painting in the background.
Right.
It could be checkerboard. You don't even know it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That black and white with the Masonic symbols all up in the background.
Right. Right.
But I say that to say because if you look at some of the movies that we name, and then now if you start looking at, well, I'm getting ready to name some of the top movies that were supposed to be considered true stories.
Okay, let me throw this out there.
Please do.
How to Eat Your Watermelon.
Oh yeah,
In White Company, and you forgot this part, and enjoy it.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Ain't no enjoying it. First of all,
it's a 2005 documentary film directed and written by Joe Angio and produced by Michael Solomon. The film follows Melvin Van Peebles through his illustrations, musical, acting, and directing career. So that's what it's about. It's a documentary about Melvin Van Peebles, but we forgot that part. How to Eat Your Watermelon in White Company.
So listen,
and enjoy it.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? Remember the minstrel show type movies and things like that? That's kind of, that title reminds me of something like that.
That's what they wanted it to be. I think
it's a shock. It's definitely shock value for the title.
Right. But you know, Melvin Van Peebles was that type of director. He was that type of
Clearly,
producer. He wanted to shock you.
Yeah.
He wanted to get your eyes open and get people thinking about certain things. Because you think about his titles, sweet badass song.
He that sleeper producer. He's like the predecessor, like I say, to Spike Lee. And you know what's funny is I got to do some research to see if I even heard Spike Lee mention his name or big up him.
I think he has.
You would have to.
He has mentioned him and his son.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the son from Sonny Spoon. But okay, so I say that to say now, if we look at the true stories, and you look at, first of all, none of the true stories are going to damn near, with the exception of probably like the Titanic, is going to equate to a high grossing film.
Right.
But some of the true stories do either bleed into or blend into what they said was considered most influential to us. In 2015, they had a movie called Spotlight. If you don't know what it was about, because I don't, it was pretty much about systematic sexual abuse in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
So now I got a good idea what that's about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, man, that's a topic, you know what I'm saying, that once again, I'm always going to have empathy for a victim that has been exposed or had the experience that, but I ain't Catholic. I wouldn't have to experience any of that growing up. I feel like that's totally blasphemous for you to be quote unquote anointed and you have followers and you use your power, you use people's belief in a twisted, sadistic form of manner like that. Right. But it's considered a true story. I think in this particular instance, it's not influential, but it could have been necessary to bring that to light so you can try to stop that. Now we got Bohemian Rhapsody. I actually saw that, believe it or not. And how can I say, really, I want to say, what did I learn from that? Because I actually kind of fuck with Freddie Mercury on them singing skills.
Right.
That's a really talented dude. Influential wise, I'm gonna say
he was very.
Exactly.
Think about his.
Exactly.
You think about
what he put, how he fused like orchestra, and classical, and pop, and the singing range, the production range, all of it, man. Queen, that's a badass group. Another one bite the dust. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, we are the champions.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are timeless songs.
Yeah.
Right there.
So Bohemian Rhapsody, man, I dug that movie.
Right.
That's a dope ass movie. a true story because Freddie actually existed, man. Them scenes where he was out there on live in them concerts with that doing that Figaro, all that. Yeah, that man really did that thing.
Right.
He did it. So shout out. I like that.
Right.
Now we're gonna go to Hustlers 2019. I think y'all saw that. That's about them strippers who decided to swipe them Wall Street folks' credit cards.
Right. Right.
They had clients and we would say that's finessing.
Okay.
Finesse them out their money. If it was a true story, I mean, I'ma say this. When you into that kind of game, I don't believe in scheming, scamming, and taking from folks. But you gotta look at what one person was offering and what one person is willing to pay for. Neither one of them can be trusted. In those situations, that's fair game.
Okay.
I don't put myself in situations where I'm either a free pick or fair game, cause hey, that's what happened when you step out there like that. So I say Hustlers. That's a true story, and it got on the radar, y'all.
Okay.
I mentioned this one earlier, Schindler's List.
Okay.
Now, Schindler's List resonates with me. I got a soft spot for this movie because when I was in middle school, we got a chance to go see this in the movie theater. So we took a field trip to see it.
Okay.
When I saw it, one of the things that stood out to me was how they put a dramatic scene, but they made it so artistically creative that as a child I was like, damn, that's a serious scene, but the art behind it is quite awesome. But what I saw a person being executed in the snow, and it was like an all white scene, and then you saw the blood backdrop on the snow. So right off the rip, when I saw that jump off, I knew what kind of movie I was getting into.
Well, okay.
But just long story short, it was about Oscar Schindler, who's supposed to be an industrialist. And I've seen a lot of Schindler, I think it's elevators or escalators. And he used his money and some of his resources to help free and help some Polish Jews escape.
Okay.
That's a noble out, very noble.
Right.
Like I said before, man, I'm not with mass death on any culture. No culture is better than the others. No culture deserved that. So anyone that impeded that was an obstacle for that happening.
Right.
You A1 in my book.
That's right.
So that was a good movie. Here go the movie that you were talking about.
Okay.
Lincoln.
Okay.
The original Lincoln movie. Now, the one you were talking about was like in 2012. We're not talking about the Abraham Lincoln, the vampire slayer I was into, y'all. We're not going to do that one. So I'm going to let Laz speak to y'all a little bit on this Lincoln movie, but I am up on Lincoln, of course. You know what I'm saying? The abolitionist.
Right.
And the assassination and all of that.
Was he an abolitionist? Or
No.
was he a opportunist?
We already talked about that in the last episode. See, you come on now. Okay, so Lincoln was like, if you free the slaves, but the United States is together, but we're not divided, we good.
Right.
If you can't free the slaves and the United States is together, we good. If you can free half the slaves, but you can't free the other half and the United States are together, we good.
Right.
So to me, that ain't abolishing shit.
Right.
But now get on the Lincoln for me.
Oh, now Lincoln was supposed to be a fact-based documentary type movie. I dispute that a little bit. It was very long. 3 hours or some change. But it was mostly focused on the Civil War part of how he was trying to negotiate things for bringing the states back, bringing the South back into the Union. How he, of course if I remember correctly, they skipped over the part about him saying, if I could free all of them, I would. And keep them together, I would. Or I think they skipped over that part, but it was a in-depth. Frederick Douglass did make an appearance. It was an in-depth documentary movie, a little bit. Of course, some things were left out and some things were put in that wasn't necessarily true. But of course, it's a movie. It's not real life. It wasn't depicted as a documentary. It was depicted as a movie. So,
see, and that's funny to me because true stories, like, that's why I'm like, okay, If it's a true story, it should be a documentary.
No.
But see, true stories be stretched.
Right. See
what I'm saying?
Documentary is documentary.
And sometimes
fact-based research.
And true stories be told by other people a lot of times. And documentaries a lot of time be from the horse's mouth and the person actually there.
The documentaries are fact-based research films.
Yep.
True stories are
subject.
some fact-based.
Yep. They
embellished
come with disclaimers,
film.
man.
They're embellished.
You know?
Right.
All right. So true story, they say Titanic. This is what I heard now. Y'all want a true story about the Titanic. I got a true conspiracy theory about the Titanic. Okay, this has been proven. The owner of the Titanic had 2 boats. All right. Now, this is theory, so you can't quote me on it. Right. But they say the owner painted a boat that he didn't want, which was the Titanic, and didn't necessarily care if it sunk or not.
Right.
Because he had that thing insured.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
White Star
The real
Line.
Titanic isn't what sunk. It was the boat he painted.
Oh, okay.
The old boat. Now that's a theory. That's all I'm gonna say. But in this particular movie, y'all all know how that thing went down. Shit. I don't really like getting on things I can't get out of.
Okay.
I don't know if I would have been playing it like them. I probably would have tried to be on one of them damn lifeboats or something.
Right.
It'd have been a fight. I can tell you that now. Cause it didn't matter how much money you had, you weren't gonna try to get on it before me.
Right.
Another true story they got, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay.
I didn't see that. I might, but they were just basically saying the gist of that. It's a 1920s recording session or something like that. You know, I think that would be dope.
I saw it.
To see music being
Chadwick
made
Boseman
in the 20s.
was in it.
Okay.
I think. See, the problem with true stories when it comes to black folks, they don't document stories about us. They haven't back from those times.
They're gonna put their narrative.
1800, maybe up to the 60s. But back then, they really didn't narrate. I mean, you think about how many black folks were born that don't have birth certificates because they didn't care to keep the birth certificate. So, things like that. I don't know if who was there. Who was there to tell it? Who told the story to the person who made the movie?
See, that's the thing, because getting your facts back in the day when you didn't have a lot of things to record with, or you didn't have your cameras and things like that, it would have to be first hand, second hand, written.
Right. That's how
out.
You think about family stories are passed down.
That's
how home
really,
remedies are
some
passed
of the
down.
truest shit, to be honest with you, man, be passed down.
Right.
Like that's why your word is supposed to be bond, because you can't pass a lie. If you passing lies down now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're messing up the form of communication and how you learn. See, I'm a word is bond type person, because what I say, I want that shit to manifest, and I want it to exist, and I want it to be true. So if you say something else, if you say it to somebody else, it ain't gonna be tainted, or it ain't gonna manipulate or mislead somebody. Now these last 3 movies I'm gonna get to, the 2 of them self-explanatory a little bit, and then I'm gonna get to my black facts, because I'm looking at the time.
Okay.
42. That's the Jackie Robinson story.
Okay.
We know that's a true story.
Yeah.
Hey,
it happened.
So I like them kind of true stories where you can kind of like. I don't like that Teal true story, but I like them. Them Jackie true stories where you can be like, all right, man, that's influential.
Right.
See what the man had to go through.
And what he made.
I see his impact, and I see it to this day too.
Right.
Shit, they could throw Hank Aaron in there if they want to.
Right.
All right, now true story I don't like, Hotel Rwanda. I saw that one. Okay, so that's like basically genocide.
Right.
Hutus against the Tutsis.
Right.
And skin colors and all that other good stuff.
Right.
And I think you can kind of get a good idea who was in the middle of that and behind that, and how
Very
that popped
good idea.
off. So no, that's a no. I don't like that. But it's a true story, and we've all learned true stories from something similar to that, past generations. All right, Zodiac Killer that came out in 2007 was supposed to be a take on like 1960s and 70s. It was a Zodiac serial killer, and it's been yet to be solved. True story. I didn't necessarily say I found it interesting or influential, but a true story.
Right.
One thing I do find interesting is, damn, You hadn't solved it. It's been since the 60s and 70s. Hey, man, I really wouldn't have wanted to be around back then because they didn't have as much technology and bodies was dropping.
Right.
Can you imagine how many bodies out there that still ain't accounted for and found? How many crimes ain't solved because they just couldn't know, just didn't know how to solve. You didn't have DNA evidence and all that. And then what pissed me off is the amount of people that's locked up from that. And they didn't have DNA evidence.
And they ain't had nothing to do with it.
Exactly. And they innocent.
Right. And that's mostly us.
Clearly, man. Because the ones locking us up and the ones trying us and all of that and the ones accusing us was a certain color.
Right.
So they ain't have to worry about, the time or none of that. All right. So while I got y'all, let me scroll through and get to these black facts for a second. All right. So
Slick says, while you're doing that, Slick says, they keep remaking the classic versions to spin it to current life. Classic movies making them like we just said what?
Either the milk and make the money, but when it come to us, if it's classics like Color Purple.
Right, that's
so
what I'm saying.
We don't need that.
We need some stronger classics.
We need some who was here first classics.
Right.
Okay, so we starting out with Sidney Poitier, 1963. It was Lilies of the Field. And I told you, Lab, I was like, I ain't seen that movie, but I guarantee you it was something racist.
You know what it's about?
Subservient. What was it about?
Lilies of the Field was about a black guy and a black guy who broke out of jail.
Good Lord.
And the white guy broke out with him, but the white guy during the whole time of that he was in jail was racist, calling him names. But Sidney Poitier, as the black guy, was trying to help the white guy who was racist towards him escape too.
Man. See, that's the word.
At the end of the movie, Sidney Poitier was on the train escaping. The white guy was running behind the train, so he reaches his hand out to try to help him, and they both fall off the train and get caught by the police.
Now okay. That's
on.
what he got leading actor Oscar for.
Right.
If that ain't some bullshit, the movie would have been over with when I was on the train. Ain't no reaching back.
Right. That's it right there.
Now, here we go, 2001. My man Denzel Washington, The Training Day.
Right.
So y'all know what role he played, and he got the Oscar for that.
Okay.
You also know what role he played in Glory. You know what role he played in Malcolm X.
He should have got the Oscar for Glory.
Glory was a dope-ass role, too. That's what I'm saying, man. If you do your homework.
Right. He should have got an Oscar for Glory because he played that role. And then when he started crying.
Hey, man,
he
that tear with that bald head, bro.
Took that shirt off.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna give you satisfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So now, I'm for this one. I'm gonna throw my hand up. I'm gonna throw the fist up for this one. Mr. Jamie Foxx with Ray Charles.
Okay.
Excellent all across the board. Okay. Wonderful story.
Very good.
Wonderful.
He played that role very well.
Very, very talented. Now what's so dope about that is not only is Jamie talented and the icon in itself, but you playing somebody talented and an icon. So you get the double whammy. You get to hear Ray Charles, what his music was like, but you get to hear it kind of like from a Jamie Foxx perspective. Yeah. But then you also get to see what Ray Charles had to go through and how he lived his life.
Right.
So yeah, that was awesome to me. You got Forrest Whitaker. I'm gonna give another one up for this. What? Last King of Scotland?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. I give another one for this one. Will Smith and King Richard. These are some positive ones. I like that. Oh, now here we go, Slick. I'm gonna do a thumbs down for this one. We got Halle Berry, man. Monsters Ball. Nah, y'all know why for various reasons. I ain't helping that. Okay, thumbs down.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you thumbs up because you black and your name Hattie McDaniel, but the Mammy.
Yeah.
The name don't even hit me right.
Right.
Mammy. And you got supporting actress at that.
Wasn't that 1931?
Damn. I think so. You all right? No, I got 39, but maybe I hooked it and made it. It's either 39 or 31.
Okay, well we're gonna go with 39. So
yeah, but we still not gonna go with the Mammy though.
She was the first black woman to get an Oscar.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. Now here we go though. Supporting though.
Right. And that was for Gone with the Wind, wasn't it?
No, that like I say, Mammy, but whatever Mammy was.
She played Mammy in Gone with the Wind.
Oh, that was the name. Her name. Okay. Well, damn. All right. Well, I gotta give Whoopi Goldberg credit, cause in 1990 she got one for Ghost. that was some pretty good acting in that.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though y'all know she was,
She wasn't with him. She was helping him. He was a ghost. She was helping him get to his wife or whatever.
Okay. I get
Slick
it.
say I hated her with that shit on the Monsters Ball.
I did too, Slick.
Right,
Shit.
right.
Okay, this a good one. Jennifer Hudson in 2006. She got one.
What was the movie?
Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls. Okay.
You know, that's that singing.
That's singing.
Yeah. Then here go one for Slick. Monique and Precious 2009. I don't really like it though. Cause y'all, you know, I'm not with all that.
Right, yeah.
That negative beating up on your kids type shit and all that, you know, teen pregnancy, all that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, Octavia Spencer in The Help. Besides the shit pie, no. I'm like, no. And
fast forward to that part of the movie.
That's it, basically. And you got it. Right. All right, now here we go. I think it, like I said, I pronounced it pretty good off air. But Lupita Nyong'o. 12 Years a Slave. No.
Yeah.
We don't do no slaves. We don't like no Oscars, no supporting act. No, we don't like no Oscars for no slave roles. You's a good ass slave.
Right.
I don't see. That doesn't sound like anything that I would want to my accolades. Nah. All right, then we're gonna go with Viola Davis in Fences.
You see Fences?
No.
It was a good movie.
Okay, so
Viola Davis, Denzel Washington.
Okay,
it was a good movie.
I'm gonna check. You know what I did see?
Black
whoa,
family.
whoa, and his son was in it too, right?
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that.
Denzel was rocking the wife beater in that and all that.
Yeah. It was kind of like about the home.
Yeah, kind of like
black
yeah.
Black
I mean,
family,
you know,
black neighborhood. I liked it. It was positive and something, but it was about the struggle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then Regina King in 2018. If Bill Street Could Talk. If I knew about that movie, I probably would have watched it, but now I do.
Go watch it.
So I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and support that. And then, like I say, the last one will be Ariana DeBose in West Side Story.
I never really watched West Side. I knew what West Side Story is about from the original.
Yeah, I never really got into it because it was a musical.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And I'm not with no musicals, especially not like no Grease musical.
They start singing, and I'm like, So yeah.
So those were the black facts for this. You know what I'm saying? For today, for tonight, for Monday. You know.
So what we gonna leave them with? When they think about these movies that we said, they can go back and watch it over again. Or listen to it later. Do they think it's propaganda or programming?
I think it's both.
Okay.
It's propaganda to promote the programming.
Okay.
To me, if you really want to get a good look at certain things, like I would say Clockwork Orange is definitely good to look at. Them like the Manchurian Candidates.
Right.
Any movies that really will take a deep dive into like government and experiments and stuff. That's what I would say I like as far as movie wise, because believe it or not, some of like I would say when the smoke clears, some of those are implemented into the grossing movies that we see.
Right.
Like, okay, if you like them Avengers movies, well, a lot of the, I would say, some of the weaponry,
technology,
and the technology exactly come straight from the government.
Right. But we always, when me and Slick watch movies, we always say they got that right now. That technology they got right now, and then like 5 years later, it'd be real. You get what I'm saying? So we always watch movies and say that's got to be going on for real, because they showing this movie too. They showing this type of movie too much.
Get your food for thought when it comes from the movie, and look at what they're really putting out in front of you. If it's something that they're putting up trailers and like Lab was saying, the propaganda behind certain movies will make me zone in on what it's about. Like all that propaganda behind The Color Purple, all that racial propaganda behind what it is, the mermaid, the Little Mermaid, things like that. That's what I'm talking about. And man, just look at what they feeding you through the big screen.
That's right.
Peace out, cause we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back next Monday doing this thing again. Appreciate y'all for coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Grams leaders CC's pounds Close caption, close call, close encounter, close up. Pounds of leaders of grams, get your dose up. Cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the movie, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I got to elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in them trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly to your vein. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up.